Quick reminder, Webull ends their promotion to get 3 free stocks when you deposit $100 in the next few days. Check out the link down below. Hey everyone, me Kevin here with updates on stimulus from our leaders, the election, COVID, lockdowns, and more. Elon Musk may have gotten COVID. He had 2 tests come back positive and 2 tests come back negative. He's awaiting results on a 24-hour PCR test now. The Commerce Department says it will not shut down TikTok to enforce Trump's order. Nancy Pelosi spoke on stimulus this morning, which we'll break down. And on COVID, we had cases hit 163,402, which means we never did actually hit the 150,000 I predicted. We literally blew past that from the 140s to the 160s. Cases are up 72% on a 14-day trend line, and deaths are up 33% on a 14-day trend line, with professionals and medical experts expecting this to skyrocket towards the end of the month. The front page of the New York Times today reads, "Lockdowns considered as U.S. virus cases shattered daily records." Cases are trending up in 46 states, and no states are declining. First-time unemployment applications did hit a low yesterday, though, at 709,000, with 298,000 claiming for self-employed unemployment. This puts us slightly above 1 million claims per week still, though we have been trending down. Although everything now is up in the air in terms of if we shut down again, these numbers could easily reverse and skyrocket again. On the election and then stimulus. On the election, China has congratulated Joe Biden on becoming president-elect. Obama says Trump's refusal to concede is damaging democracy in America. The Wall Street Journal reported today that multiple Trump lawsuits are not actually alleging fraud. In fact, in Arizona, here's a quote from the opening statement of an attorney for Trump. Quote, "We're not alleging fraud in this lawsuit. We are not alleging anyone stealing the election." Instead, the Wall Street Journal reported that the attorney said this case was about, quote, "good faith errors made in the tabulation of some ballots that may have unfairly resulted in votes not being counted." When the Wall Street Journal asked the Trump campaign about this, the Trump campaign said, "When we have eyewitness affidavits alleging that stacks of ballots were counted multiple times, as an example, that's fraud," and said that every action we take is meant to either move the ball forward or to gain information. There's also an allegation in Detroit that the date ballots were received was changed so that way they could be counted. However, a judge ruled that this was hearsay, saying that you can't have a witness who offers a statement based on what somebody else said. That's literally like going to court and saying, well, I heard someone say that they saw something. Well, then that person should be in court, is what the judge is ruling. When it comes to poll watcher affidavits, the Wall Street Journal says that these affidavits primarily concern complaints about poll watchers, quote, "feeling threatened," or reports of poll watchers fixing ballots, but in standard ways. For example, there is a duplication process for damaged ballots where poll workers copy votes onto a new ballot that can properly be processed, and then the old ballot is destroyed, or not counted at least. The USA Today says that 10 lawsuits by the Trump campaign have been reviewed, and says that all 10 of these lawsuits fall short of showing fraud. They gave a few examples, and Nevada lawyers publicly said that 10,000 people voted illegally. But in court, the lawyers said that only 3,000 people voted illegally, and the USA Today says the attorneys provided no evidence for this. In another lawsuit, they claimed that they found 9 ballots thrown into a dumpster in Pennsylvania. This was investigated and discovered to be a true mistake, not necessarily fraud, but this did happen. And apparently 7 of these 9 ballots were Trump votes. A claim that 14,000 dead people voted in Michigan has been investigated, and these individuals were found to be either alive or no longer living in Michigan, yet these votes were only counted once. The USA Today also mentioned that there are several videos of ballots being burned or destroyed circulating the internet, especially like Facebook and that, and the USA Today confirmed that many of these videos show sample ballots being burned, which do not contain the real barcodes for actual ballots. On stimulus, Biden has spoken with Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer about the urgent need for stimulus as soon as possible, especially relief for businesses and individuals most at risk. Nancy Pelosi reiterated that Democrats will remain firm about a complete rescue package, not a piecemeal approach. Senator Marco Rubio this morning advocated for a piecemeal approach, saying just give us PPP funding because businesses are suffering. Nancy Pelosi says give us a full package because everyone is suffering or about to suffer as cases are skyrocketing. Gallup polls find that people plan to spend 37% less money during this holiday season without stimulus funding. At Nancy Pelosi's press conference this morning, she stated that she believes infrastructure will be a bipartisan way to get spending done together next year, but insisted that we need a COVID bill during the lame duck session right now. Nancy Pelosi says this is red alert. She said, quote, "This is an emergency of the highest magnitude, and science has given us a path." Nancy Pelosi says that even though Mitch McConnell believes he has more power to push for a small package, Nancy Pelosi says she will only work with a large package. Nancy Pelosi says having a same-party president will give her more power. She says her leverage will actually go up substantially with a same-party president. Nancy Pelosi also slammed Facebook for spreading misinformation. According to Twitter and the Wall Street Journal, Twitter has flagged 300,000 tweets as potentially spreading misinformation. Some Democrats are also now splitting with Nancy Pelosi, saying you should have taken the smaller package when you had the chance to. However, again, Nancy Pelosi doubles down on this and says, don't worry, even though Democrats might not control the Senate, because they control the presidency, they will have more leverage over Republicans to limit or basically negotiate with other Republican priorities and get what Democrats want. Janet Yellen, the former Federal Reserve chairperson before Jerome Powell, might join the White House in Joe Biden's cabinet. She is a huge proponent for stimulus. On COVID and lockdowns, Michael Osterholz says we're approaching COVID hell. We broke this down in detail in a prior video yesterday. I just want to remind you that he also says, quote, "We could pay for a package right now to cover all the wages, and if we did that, we could lock down for 6 weeks." Biden's chief of staff has been selected as Ron Klain. Ron Klain is tentatively going to fill this role currently held by Mark Meadows. I posted a video, by the way, on Saturday about Ron Klain's COVID plan. About 30% of people called this propaganda, saying it was wrong and way too extreme. This person is now being picked as the White House chief of staff. Ron Klain's COVID plan includes doubling testing, a national strategy to make sure we have enough masks and PPE here manufactured in the United States. They're going to implement a smart plan for distributing a vaccine, restore ties to the World Health Organization, which Donald Trump left, safely reopen and require masks in businesses, and provide PPE at businesses so that they can provide proper protection for their customers, and provide protection for those in the highest risk groups like nursing homes and communities where people live much closer together, which are usually lower income communities. The president has not addressed the nation since Thursday, which is now 8 days ago. Dr. Fauci has not spoken with Donald Trump since the first week of October. Germany says it will not ease up on its lockdown rules despite indications they're successfully slowing this next surge in COVID cases. Instead, they're considering extending their restrictions into January. Italy is also planning to extend its lockdown, which works on a region-by-region basis, not a national lockdown. They expect restrictions to be extended beyond the current December 3rd deadline. Also, New York is considering closing schools. We also have 67,000 COVID patients now hospitalized. Just for comparison, just 5 weeks ago, we had half as many people hospitalized. A vaccine will not come soon enough to help bail us out of this during this winter. Today, more than 130 Secret Service officers have been ordered to quarantine because they've either tested positive or had close contact with those in the White House at recent Trump rallies. This comes as multiple attendees at Trump's indoor election night event at the White House, which had over 400 indoor guests, have tested positive, including White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, advisors Corey Lewandowski, David Bussey, and 8 staffers at the RNC, along with multiple Republican donors. Representative Don Young of Alaska, a Congress member, also now has COVID. That's the update for today. Thanks so much for watching. Get your life insurance in as little as 5 minutes. Make sure to get your 3 free stocks with Webull when you deposit $100. And as always, check out the amazing coupon code down below for the awesome programs. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.